If you had to choose how to see a big movie of the year, well, it's a great premiere, but not like the movie of the year. There are quite expectations for this movie. Do you prefer to pass your Friday, Saturday, Sunday in your home 2 or 3 weeks later than it does out in the cinema? Or do you prefer to go to the premiere, let's say it, premiere to the first weekend that the movie launched on the movie theater, buy some popcorn with your friends or with your couple and watch it in the cinema, inside of a cinema? Welcome to the Comments Out Loud. Here we have another topic that has been hot lately these days. There are thousands of people commenting in X, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, the arguments of why cinema is dying. And I am not talking about movies, because we're still dealing with this kind of news that probably we have in average 79 movies per year, originals for every digital platform like Netflix, Prime Video, etc. Per platform. That's insane. Here we are talking about the chill sensation of going out, hanging out with your friends and going to the place where you used to watch movies. I'm talking of feeling the air of popcorn, drinking so much soda and laughing out loud or screaming or crying with a crowd. That is called movie theater. And yeah, we are falling off and we are losing this love to this activity. What's the reason? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's the participation for you on this video. Meanwhile, guys, let's read some opinions that we have here, and I have collected one of them here that it's a thread. It's in Spanish, but I will translate it for you. Here, for example, the concept of utility, of why the people it's not going more the cinema. Well, here's a thread in Spanish, but you know, the main thing that this thread explains, and it's the comparison between what activities do the people like to spend their money for having fun or just living. In economics, utility is the feeling of satisfaction that a person experiences when consuming a product or service in a market economy system. To be successful, a company must identify people's needs and satisfy them with its actions. And here, our guy, it is comparing, for example, the excitement of the people to spend money in a concert or in going to the movie theater. There's the example that, for example, Taylor Swift sold out the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, the Madrid Stadium, in just 5 minutes. That probably has become one necessity, because obviously you need to have that feeling that spending your money is going to be worth it. And that will lead us to a point that I want to talk about in the end of this video. But before, here he got a point, and this is really important because in our actual society, we regularly like to share all our activities in our social media. And going back to this comparison between a concert and going out for seeing a movie in a Friday night, or I don't know, it is something that in the actual thought or intent of the people to do this activity, it is worth it, because he or she, when they are in a concert, they can share their photos in the social media or saying, look at this, I am listening live to my favorite artist. And if we saw in the recent times of the cinema, we don't have like incredible movies that lead us to this situation of wanting to share a thought of this movie or see an utility in that spending of the movie. And you know, when we touch another topic that is the food, because usually the people when they go to the cinema, it's not only the ticket. If you go with your couple, if you go with your friends, if you go with your family, and if you eat popcorn, if you, I don't know, buy a combo or something like that, that even will hurt so much to your wallet, and knowing that probably the movie will not be worth it, well, that's when we have to start to worry about. And yeah, for example, here in the end of the thread, this person puts a real situation in 2023, and this is a great example. The Barbenheimer, it happened, you know? And well, that was a trend. That was what the people wanted to feel and wanted to know that they are going to feel moving forward to see a movie in a movie theater. You know, I know that there's a lot of advocates and a lot of adversity for the cinema. Meanwhile, we are advancing with the technology, with the digital platforms. You have Netflix, you have Prime Video, you have literally the subscription in your phone. But if there's utility in going to the cinema and it is worth it, the tasks in the customers experience will be automatically that going to the cinema to watch a movie that you like worth the price of the ticket. The other point that I wanted to touch here is that there's a lot of people talking about the quality of the movies. You know, it's not always the price, it's not always that it doesn't worth the experience because at the movie theater it's not the same as before. For example, this X account post to a tweet that is describing Furiosa moment that actually it wasn't a big success. If you want to know how bad 2024 is doing in theaters, if the Marvels came out this year, it will be the 5th highest grossing film of the year. Yeah, the Marvels, that probably in the critics it was so bad, but in the money it was good, and you're seeing here. You know, definitely something is happening too, and the quality in the movies, in the box office movies, in the mainstream, even in the mainstream movies, has down a lot. In my main channel, actually, I do reviews of movies that comes out in the cinema every week, but my fandom of that kind of videos knows it. It's really difficult for me, even trying to be really objective, you know, with the reviews, with the critics, to rate a movie with 5 out of 5 stars. I mean, even 4.5. I mean, even 4. And that's, for example, because if you start to think that all the movies which were released in this, for example, 2 past years, 2024, 2023, and 2022, if you want, what were the ones that you remember? From this year, I just really remember a good movie, a real good movie, and it was Dune Part 2. But if I go back, I don't see really big mainstream successes. Anyways, this comment leads me to the thought that I think that the cinema, the movie theaters, I mean, I am talking of the location itself, didn't recover really well since the pandemic. I am talking of problems beyond what people thought of the cinema. I am talking more of infrastructure, of motivation, of something new that makes different these new cinemas of 2024 and beyond in the future, of the cinemas before the pandemic, of the cinemas in 80s, of the cinemas in the starting of the millennium. I am talking that this kind of companies has to have a value added, some motivation, something different that makes to your customers want to go back there, you know, even if the movie was trash. Because that leads me to another problem. I mean, this is a funny video that I found here. It's in Spanish too, but I will try to translate it to you. This is what Eva Bold put here in X. It's because of these people that I have stopped going to the movies because of the smells, noises when eating, the trash thrown out. You don't go to the movies for dinner. I mean, kind of, I am agreed that you don't go to talk, you don't go to the movies to eat. For example, if you are going to enter with a pizza, with an entire box of pizza, I mean, that's kind of, come on, bro. But you know what leads to the people to do that? When you enter to the snacks section, you know, to eat your popcorn, to buy your popcorn and your combo, I don't know, and you saw images like this. This is the most famous cinema here in my country, here in Mexico. It is called Cinepolis. I think that they're out of Mexico too, you know, but this is the principal, the main cinema. And you know, here are the best combos. Maxi combo, 2 big popcorn, 2 big sodas, and M&M's for 442 pesos. That's the most expensive combo, along with the maxi combo nachos that are 2 nachos, 2 sodas, and 1 big popcorn, $25 too. And you know, the ticket, I mean the enter to the cinema, I think that it's in 75 pesos. That are like almost $5 more, $2, you know. And even if you want to buy another thing, I mean, if we have to go back to the topic of the utility, it worth to pay that much of money to an experience that it is uncertain that you will enjoy? Because we talk about the concerts, we talk about hanging out with friends and doing another activity, we talked about going better to a restaurant with this $25 and eat something better, or just wait and pay the membership of Netflix, Prime Video, Apple TV, or anything of that platforms and wait to that movie. Because I think that that's the problem. When you go to your closest cinema, to the infrastructure there, to the complex, to the box, to the place, you are not 100% sure that you will have a good time. It doesn't matter even if you like the movie and if you know that probably the movie will be good, because still you have to deal with the prices. You have to deal with if there are good conditions of the place. I'm talking of the room, exactly, if it will be clean, and if there will be a bunch of people disturbing you with their noises and doing weird things on the top of the room. And talking about what we have talked about the prices, here's the video where they are saying that, you know, they are ready to go to the cinema. No, we are not going to eat popcorn or anything like that. This woman has their bag with, I don't know, it looks like some burgers or Subway, something like that, and fries, and here there's a bunch of people, waiting in the line, that they know, they are posing with their bags. Look at that guy, oh my god. And we have this little clip where Quentin Tarantino, one of the best directors of all the time, says facts.
I've been
Let's
saying
watch
this
it.
since the 80s when movie ticket prices, they were $5 forever in America, and then all of a sudden they started moving up to $6.50 and $7 and $7.25 and $7.50 and all that stuff. The key to what you're saying is this is a working man's art form. Yeah. It's not opera, no, it's not theater, it's not going to a big concert. It was the idea was that anybody could go and see a movie. That was one of the reasons why movies flourished in the 30s, and it's not anymore. No. We have priced them out,
Absolutely.
And so now it's
a deal.
Right.
This is totally what I think, and not only by the increase of the price in the tickets. It's because this also implies that the directors, producers, or the people that makes the movie, mainly before the art form, what Tarantino says it was the cinema, they think first into make money, leaving behind very important things like making a valuable movie instead of just delivering this movie because it was the topic of the conversation, making this other movie because it's the part 2, it's the part 3, it's the part 5, it's the spin-off, it's the post, and making quantity over quality. And last but not least, we have this little short of Brett Cooper on the comment section, actually, that it was my inspiration to create this YouTube channel, actually. So hi Brett Cooper, I think this is literally another fact. Actually, what we have talked a second ago, the spin-offs, the second anniversary, the re-premiere of a movie that it was launched 20 years ago. Like, I think that it was one from the Titanic, Spider-Man No Way Home, even that it was a movie of 4 years ago. I think that it has been a couple of Avengers re-premieres, and actually right now is the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter 3. So yeah, we have another option to go to the cinema.
And producers have spent the last,
I don't know,
5+ years blaming audiences for their failed productions. And they've said things like, they weren't ready for a female superhero, they're racist, they don't get the film, they just don't want to go to movie theaters anymore, is my personal favorite. Because in response to audiences not going to theaters and not watching movies anymore, movie theaters had to come up with another option to make money. So what did they do? They brought back old movies. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it feels like every other week there's a new 20th anniversary coming back into theaters, another film coming back. It's the new uncut edition. And you know what? Audiences go. We are selling out movie theaters to see old films. So no, it's not that we don't like going to movie theaters anymore and we don't care about film or anything like that. We just want better productions.
Yeah, and you know what is funny too? They are bringing back this canon of old movies and historic movies in re-premieres, making this, oh my god, anniversary because exists right now. I think that this happens after Avengers Endgame, I think that after Avengers Endgame, I don't know why people even that didn't see the film in that moment or are not even fans of Marvel, but they acknowledged this incredible record that set this kind of film in 2018, I think, that a lot of people set up that line, and there has to be something of that level to going back to the cinema, because otherwise it's not worth it. And I understand the idea of bringing back some old movies because there are a lot of people that love this kind of old school cinema and that they didn't have the opportunity in the past, obviously, because they just have born, or I don't know, they just are right now 15 or they are younger, and obviously the premiere of that movie, it was in the 80s or in 90s or even in the beginning of the millennium, and they want to see or experience that movie for the very first time in the cinema. But pointing that like a reason to describing this kind of total disaster that the cinema is having, I think that it's not correct. I think that we have to do is to us, our clients, recognize and acknowledge that it has to be a relationship of respect between all the points that we have seen in this video. The movie theaters doesn't have to be selfish with their prices. We have to respect their regulation, and we don't have to enter to the lobby with a box of pizza or 6 packs of burritos and the burger of the other day. If you are hungry, eat before the movie. The cinema, along with the producers and the people that creates movies, has to understand that they are in a competition right now trying to satisfy one important part and one important activity slash hobby that it is literally like an heritage that they had to save. They are competing with the technology. They are competing against the digital platforms, so they have to create new incentives that motivates to the customer. What is this? Brett Cooper said new productions that are worth it, not making movies just like that, and create a physical atmosphere where the customers feel happy and they are watching that you are evolving to with all of us, because I think that that's the main reason. Perfect match between all the points that we have talked here, and an evolution to not become in something obsolete, because we are all growing up, we are all evolving, and we are all advancing with the technology. So yeah, I don't want the cinemas to die, but I think that that's all on us.